8 years ago, Crossroads Church started in Chapel Hill Elementary School. As we grew, we began to search for land or a building or somewhere that we could continue to grow and reach more people for Christ. Because our vision was to be a church for people that don't do church. And so in our search, we came across this shopping center that you see behind me. It's no longer a shopping center. It was the old Roberts building. And as we began to look at it, we were able to form a lease with this company that owned it. In that process, we did some build out so that we could start our services. As we moved in, though, we realized that we needed to have environments for people to really connect with God. And so we started a growth campaign called Imagine a Place. And this campaign was so that we could create a place that people could come and connect with God through irresistible environments. And so in that process of the growth campaign, it also allowed us to do some other things. One of the environments that God just allowed us to create for children is our XKidz City environment. This environment was designed so that kids could come in and dance on stage and perform and be involved in dramas and skits and have adults do the drama aspects, so that kids could really connect with God in a place that's exciting, so that we could be a church where the kids drag their parents to church. And if we move down the hallway and we see the paintings that so many of you sacrificed to help us do, as we move down that hall and go into our preschool area, we see a clubhouse and tree and all these different pod areas so that kids can do different things and their little minds can stay focused on the lesson and the different activities, so that we can keep them focused on what we're trying to teach them about God, and so that their faith, even as that young child, begin to grow. But what it does is when a parent goes down that hallway, it allows them to see that Crossroads really cares about them and their family. And that's what we want them to hear, because God cares about them. So what I want to say is, I want to say thank you that over the last 3 years, many of you have sacrificed so hugely, and you've done what you could do through faith in God. And many of you, even though tough economic times have come, you haven't been able to do what you wanted to do, you still sacrificed in the ability you could. And so as we wrap this campaign up on November 1st, I want us to end with the same faith that we started with, where we trust God to do something huge. And so on this last Sunday, our last offering, we're setting a goal of $40,000. I know it stretches us, and I know we're all saying, but you know, times are so tough. But God's still God, and people in tough financial times still need Jesus. And God says, listen, if you have the faith of a mustard seed, you can move mountains. And I want us to come together as we end this campaign and see what God can do as we step out in faith. So let's trust God together to do something amazing and extraordinary on November 1st.